So, here we are. We're up to this point with the quality of life statement. Now, in the workbook, it tells you to write pages and pages and pages. I wrote about 10 pages over a period of a couple of weeks, exploring what I really cared about. And then I used the tool of that column system to kind of get it down to something really useful that's full of meaning for me. That's the visioning in writing. Today I'll describe very briefly the future vision statement so you can begin that work too. But the quality of life statement begins with, I'd like my life too. And then we explore. That's not a question we're often asked in a college classroom. And yet this is the key question, I believe, that we need to explore if we're going to live more sustainably. What you do is go through what you've written and underline the key phrases or words that are substantive. You know, if you said you want the red sports car, underline red sports car. If you said you want the love of your life, underline the love of my life. You know, just take a few phrases and underline those key words in that writing you've just done, which we'll use which we'll work with a little bit here, just by yourself. Jim is going to ask me from my writing what I wrote.
Okay. So John, what did you want for your quality of life?
I want a big sailboat.
Okay, so what's that going to give you?
You know, Joey, it's going to give you an opportunity for leisure time. Can I get away from it all, you know?
Okay, what would that give me?
Well, the leisure, I get, I think it's a sense of freedom, is that right? I get a sense of freedom. I get away from the shore, away from all you people. You know, I get a sense of way of just being away from everything. I'm free on my boat.
Now, what will that give me?
Jimmy's pushing me. You know, what will that give me? The sense of freedom is pretty deep. You know, sense of freedom and that experience is pretty deep. But for me, there's something else below that sense of that sense of freedom. And I think it reads a connection with nature. Let's see what it says. Yeah, it says a connection with nature. I forgot what I wrote here. For me, that's what it is. The sailboat sailing, you know, off on Nantucket Sound, headed for Nantucket Island. I am totally connected with nature. I have the wind in my face. You know, I have the water, the birds, the sun. I can feel that experience, and that's what I want. Now, if I limit myself to wanting a big sailboat, I will never have I may miss the opportunity to experience that sense of connection with nature, which is what I truly want in other places, in other things. When we limit ourselves to things, rather than what is really deep within us, which is, for me, the connection with nature, we limit our opportunities. So, what's the next one say, Jimmy? So the garden. I want a garden. You know, I want a garden in a sailboat. That's my first reaction. And then hit it again and see what it takes. It takes me to some place of peace, harmony, and serenity. That's what I get in my garden. That's the deeper sense of one. I want sex. And sex takes me to a loving primary relationship. It includes sex, but it's more than sex. And so, if you have things that you've underlined, I'd ask you to ask yourself, what does that give me? What does it give me? What does it give me? Take you to a different place, to a more fundamental place that is more than the superficial. What I'd like you to do is turn to your neighbor and ask each other, at least once or twice, from your list, something you'd be willing to share, what do you want? And then ask that person at least 3 or 4 times, what will that give me? What will that give me? What will that give me? Do it in pairs, do it with each other, just to get that practice of digging through it. Jimmy, when you're writing your quality of life statement, what do you want?
I want a scuba diver again.
Jimmy just spent last spring break on John Pennycap scuba diving. He wants to go scuba diving. So Jimmy, what would that give you?
Give me some adventure.
Adventure, that's really good. Adventure's a good thing. What will adventure give you?
A meaning. Life.
Sense of meaning for life, that's really good. Why do you care about a meaning of life? What will that give you?
Freedom.
Yeah? What will freedom give you?
No worries.
No worries. Okay. So we'll start a cycle. Once you get to that thing, you know, the bottom, you start making up different words for the same thing. You know, that's what happens. You know, meaning of life, having purpose in life is pretty deep. I think that was a long jump to freedom. But that's where you go. That's cool. Wherever it is you go. What we want to get to is those words that almost sound like platitudes. You know, they're sort of like, you read it and you go, yeah, whatever. You know, I want to have a meaning in my life, you know. But when you work your way there from the scuba diver to the sailboat to the garden, it may have some meaning for you. You may know what it means. So when you read my quality of life statement, it says all these things that are lovely. It took me 10 pages of writing, a whole lot of work, to get to those core statements that have real meaning for me. I know what those words mean. You can steal those words, they may not mean anything for you. So what I'm asking you to do is to use this tool to dig deeper.